Because of their uprising, one of the tailies has to lose their arm and end up choosing this child, but her mother volunteers to take her place. And it's a gruesome way of doing it, as what they do is they wet their arm, then they put it outside the train, and since it's 100 degrees Celsius below zero, the arm freezes in seconds. Pike and 2 other tailies are also being put to sleep in the drawers, but this isn't as bad, as now have tailies further up the train. They take the woman's arm in after a few minutes, and they now smash it off with a sledgehammer, and there's absolutely no pain as it's completely frozen through. Leighton and Brakeman Till are examining the body, and Leighton knows the limbs had to be taken off with either a hacksaw or a cleaver, and there's only certain people on the train that could get those, so it has to be a butcher. Bad news for the train though, as there's an avalanche in the mountains, and it comes speeding down the slopes and hammers into the side of the train. The train's built to resist these, but that doesn't mean it suffers no damage. Unfortunately, in the agriculture section, the glass breaks, and all the people and livestock in there are frozen instantly. Leighton and Brakeman Till are the closest to it at the time, as that's their investigations taking them, but everything in there is certainly dead, and they're lucky they weren't caught in there at the same time. And while they're checking the freezers in the meantime, they end up finding 3 of the 4 limbs of the body. Where his right arm is though, they've no clue. Melanie meets with some of the other heads to sectors. It tells them because of the breach, they're going to have to cut down electricity and water being fed to 2nd and 3rd, and the tailors are going to have to fend for themselves, but to cheer them up, they should push forward the apprenticeships. The apprenticeships is where they choose taily children to work in the higher up classes, and they end up choosing 2 girls and a boy, Miles, who Leighton looks after. Leighton tells Till there's an ulterior motive for the murder, as Sean Wise, the person who's killed, was obviously tortured, and they now have to figure out that. And Leighton being a taily, he's often looked down on by the soldiers, but Till now protects them, so there's potentially a relationship building between these two. Leighton's escorted back to his cell. He now takes advantage of a few things he picked up along the way, and he makes a map of the carriages of the train, which he means to send back down to the tail. He makes a little symbol on the ground, so the workers going back to the tail know they have to pick something up. And then as they're coming back, he comes around the corner and distracts the guards, but as one of the workers tries to pick up the note, he's pulled back up and he doesn't get it. And after his failed attempt to communicate with the tail, Leighton's beaten beyond recognition by the guards. Miles now leaves the tail to begin his new life further up in the train, and Melanie now talks to Leighton. She says they want answers right now for the murder, or else there'll be consequences, and Leighton lays it all before her. He says that Sean Wise was an informant for Mr. Wilford. They don't care about his death, they're more concerned about what he let out while he was tortured, and as he says it, a small grin plays across her lips.